This did not take as much time last time.
Good. Oh, good.
Okay. Ready.
It is 5:36, and I'm going to call this meeting of the Select Board to order. We're down 2 members presently. The chair, Sabrina Dunlop, is not going to join us this evening. Alyssa should be joining us shortly. Right now, we have Vicky Brom and Jeff Donahoe and myself, Stephen Whitley. So we will go ahead and get started. First, I'll start off with, are there any points of pride that anyone would like to bring up?
I just want to say that all of our public gardens and flowers look absolutely lovely. I know a lot of them are done by volunteers, so we appreciate everyone's time.
Karen, okay. I'm gonna do one, and it's very late because I have a feeling it may have come up at a prior meeting, but the 4th of July festivities here in town were really, really amazing. So I appreciate the Recreation Committee and Fire and Police and everything that they did to make that happen, because I thought it went off really, really well. Having done that, we will turn now to administrative. And we will start with the consent agenda. And I just want to say for the record that we have a lot of abatement requests on here, and that's actually going to come up as a separate agenda item. And so unless the board has any objection, I would like to remove all of these abatement items from the consent agenda. And we'll deal with them when we get to abatements later on tonight.
Do you want me to make a motion?
I don't think we need a motion necessarily if everybody's in agreement.
I think we do,
Okay, we can do it that way.
because it's on the consent agenda. If we don't strike it,
Sure. I will make a motion that we remove the abatement request items from the consent agenda to be discussed later on this evening.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, those have been removed for the time being. So that said, I will take a motion to approve the remaining items on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Any opposed? Okay. So now we're on to approval of the meeting minutes, and we're going to start with approval of the public meeting minutes of July 14th, 2025.
I would like to make a motion to approve the public meeting minutes from July 14th, 2025.
Okay, can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm going to abstain because I wasn't present. So next up, we have the first session of non-public meeting minutes of July 14th. And I'm just looking at these. And it looks like these were not sealed. And everybody should have a folder of these in front of them. So if anybody has any edits or concerns with the minutes as drafted, please say so. Okay, seeing none, I'll take a motion to approve these non-public meeting minutes.
Move to approve non-public session 1, July 14th, 2025.
And a second?
Seconded.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I will abstain. It's not present. So next up, we have the draft minutes from the non-public session number 2 from the 14th. And these minutes were sealed.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the second non-public session minutes from July 14th, 2025.
Okay,
Seconded.
excellent. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I will abstain. It's not present. So now we're on to the third session of non-public minutes, and I will note that those were not sealed.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the third non-public session minutes from July 14th, 2025.
Seconded.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I will abstain there. And finally, we're on to the non-public, the fourth non-public session from July 14th. And those were sealed.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the fourth set of non-public session minutes from July 14th, 2025.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
And I will abstain. Okay, we have no public appointments this evening. Old business? Karen, do you have anything for old business? Okay. All right, new business, we have two items. The first is the budget process. And I believe we had a draft schedule for the budget committee and also our own schedule for the upcoming 2026 budget. I don't know, Karen, if you wanted to address either one of those.
Do you mind if I
If
go
you wanted
first?
to, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so, because I am new to budget committee in the select board representative capacity, and because Karen hasn't been through a budget cycle with us, we were hoping that, especially the two of you that have been through it before, using this as, understanding that this is what we have so far in terms of an understanding. This doesn't really start until November. Could you backfill for us what happens before that with, for instance, this board and our department heads?
I think, Jeff, correct me or add to what I'm about to say, but I think the next document, the draft 2026 town budget schedule, sort of gets at some of that.
Okay.
The process starts internally in mid-October. And it doesn't really come to us until the end of October.
So, and I would have to go back and look at our meeting agenda for around this time last year. I thought that it was actually near the beginning of September that we started talking to the department, that Neil had talked with department heads, had produced an initial budget book. And we started with a couple of departments, maybe in the second meeting of September.
I don't think we met with any department heads until November.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But maybe Neil did.
but Neil may have much sooner.
I think, and I don't know your routine, so I'm not saying what you should or shouldn't do. I think he spent a lot of time with the department heads before anything ever came to us.
So it says here, Wednesday, October 29th, initial budget to select board. So would that basically mean that up until that point, it was all Neil and the department heads?
Yes,
And we weren't having any sort of back and forth?
correct. I mean, every now and then Ken would bring us something from a budget committee meeting and say, hey, the budget committee wanted me to pass along this concern.
Yeah.
But we didn't really dig into the next year's budget until end of October, or early November.
So is there any appetite for moving the schedule up a little bit? I get what you're saying, Jeff, that a lot of it was behind the scenes. But the reason why I ask is because the budget one-pagers discussion sort of fostered a more maybe holistic idea about how we can approach budgeting, which is setting some priorities at the select board level. And then as we're reviewing the budgets from the department heads, we can sort of see how those connect to the priorities. And I'm not saying we have to fit a square peg in a round hole. I'm just saying that it would be worth articulating, some direction so that everybody feels like these, expenditures are appropriate and deliberate instead of maybe reactionary or unanticipated.
Yeah, and I guess I don't know how the budget committee could set priorities without having the input from the department heads.
Right, no, I understand. No, I'm not the budget committee. I'm saying the select board.
Oh, okay.
So I'm saying more 30,000 foot objectives, like promote public safety or nurture a committed workforce. You know what I mean? Like, big ideas that when we say, for instance, well, why are we introducing a wage increase for the staff? We can point to, well, that's fostering a committed workforce or something along those lines. Nothing, I don't want to make it too detailed or heavy a lift because this would be a new process. So we wouldn't want to we want to bury ourselves in minutia when we haven't even like done the idea work yet. But I think that for my purposes as our representative, I think it would be helpful as in my quiver to have a vision or a set of priorities that we all feel like we can stand behind. And I am happy to, I don't know, like I sort of already did take a stab at drafting, but the list is this long, and if we list every single thing the town does, that's no longer priorities, that's more just what we already do. But I used Sabrina's write-up in the town report and Neil's write-up in the town report to tease out some of what I can tell are our priorities, even though they weren't articulated as such. So what I was thinking was if we could maybe just marinate on them, and then maybe I'll put myself on the agenda for the second meeting in August after I'm gone, after we've had our fair meeting, where we can sort of pivot to budget season. And we can always revisit them whenever we want to, but maybe just settle on, I don't know, 5 or 6 things that we feel confident saying that are priorities for us. And then once we're talking to the department heads, we have those as anchors for the discussion.
I'm open to that. I mean, I think that previously my memory is that Ken would come back from the budget committee and say, the budget committee is hoping that the budget that we eventually present in November, December is no more than this percentage increase over last year's budget. But other than that, I don't recall any specific subject matter emphasis. And I'm happy to think about if that's a better way for us to sort of go about it.
Well, and by subject matter, I think it would have to be relatively high level that could be applied regardless of whether or not you are Paula, a one-woman department, or DPW, and have a lot of people working as a team.
Yep.
But if you guys are willing to go along with this idea, then I can put myself back on the agenda for the meeting after next with maybe just a smorgasbord of ideas that we can whittle down to what we feel is appropriate for the first attempt at this.
Any other discussion on this?
No, I would just say whittle it down, edit yourself before you come in.
Okay, I'll let
I don't want to go through 20 ideas, when we can go through 7 and pick 3.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's the number, but
yeah. No, there's a good 20 on the list at the moment.
Have you floated this by Sabrina at all?
No, I mean, Sabrina has often brought up the visioning and taking a more proactive approach, so I don't think she'd be against it. Have you had any conversations like this? Oh, you have?
We had that exact conversation on Friday. It was, looking forward and being less reactive.
Okay,
And sort of
I was gonna
set
say-
select board goals and things like that. So but she's definitely, I think she would be on board with that.
The reason I asked is I attended at Sabrina's invitation, the Open Space Committee last week, the week before. Time has no meaning. And that came up in that conversation. For instance, the Open Space Committee gets their funding by requesting money from the Conservation Committee, who gets their money by selling, logging something or other. But it doesn't come from the town at all. And yet, as a town, we talk a lot about the importance of our rails and our trails and our open spaces and blah, 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 but it's not something we fund or put money towards. And so is it actually a priority, or is it just a happy byproduct of some people who happen to care a lot about it? And Sabrina, as the select board member on that committee, said that she continues to see the importance of having a bigger step back conversation with this. So I'll say, please don't put it all on your shoulders. And maybe it's something where you can share your ideas with Sabrina and then have her lead us through an exercise. Because it isn't just about the budget, it's about where we spend our time as a board and what, if any, projects we want to tackle
Mhm.
during our terms.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm curious what your thoughts are on the proposed schedule.
So I found these on Neil's Now My computer, and I found them in April. So I think he was trying to lay out a map. I also, in the calendar, all the meetings are already kind of pre-scheduled. The one piece that's missing for me is when the budgets go out to the department heads, but I assume that's probably a month ahead of that October deadline.
I would think so.
Something at least, maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know. They will be getting this, and this is jumping into my little update, coming up. The CIP forms will be going out this week, so,
Okay.
we're starting that piece of the budget. I'm happy to shift this around a little bit. More time is always good, but it's also sometimes hard to budget too early in the year because you
Right.
haven't really seen the rest of 2025 yet, so.
I mean, I guess I'm wondering if because I don't want you to feel like you're committed to the process and the schedule that Neil previously did. And so if you have a better way or have a different schedule, I think that we would love to know that.
This is similar to what I'm used to. Again, one thing that I highly recommend is that the conversations with department heads not happen just with the select board, that, have a group meeting between budget committee and select board. So there's a broader conversation where ideas are being shared, answers to questions are benefiting both groups.
So
And that, as I understand it, is the only piece that's really different.
yeah, so how would that work, for instance, like mechanically, like when would those meetings happen, do you think?
When are the department head meetings? I think those are, you have them in.
In front of us, they're in early November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I see what you mean. So
strongly encourage budget committee members to come get the answers to their questions.
got it. Invite the budget committee to those meetings. Okay, I see. Yep.
In the town where I live, it was the other way around. The select board was invited to the budget committee meeting. Either way.
Yeah.
It's still a great sharing of ideas.
Okay.
I do think one, as we're talking about this, Vicky has mentioned before, that one of the common questions that comes up in budget committee meetings is like seeking to understand contextually why we're doing something and how it's important to the town. And so knowing that information, I think, is what's most important to the budget committee. Vicky, does that sound right to you? The example of like the 2 ambulances and why do we need 2 ambulances and like, what is it related to? Not just like, is it important to us as a town to have that speedy response, or is it required by law, or like what's going on? Why do we need that? Does that sound like the type of question that comes up for budget committee?
Yeah, definitely. And that circles back around to sort of the, goals idea. If one of the goals is to operate legally and within the regulatory framework, then, the answer to that question might be,
We have to.
exactly. And the one pagers as written last year do reference specific RSAs next to, the, sort of list of responsibilities, if it is required. But again, that is maybe more of a passive way of showing that than saying a goal of ours is to do this, and this is one of the ways in which we accomplish it. And I agree with you, just your comment earlier, Alyssa, that it's not always budget driven when we have a priority or something that we're willing to give our, time and resources to. But considering we have this whole framework of meetings set up regarding the budget, it just seems like the beginning of that process is a good opportunity to go through this exercise.
I mean, yeah, where we spend our 2 biggest resources, our time and our money.
Right, time and
How we
money.
show our
Mhm.
priorities.
Right.
My sort of take on the budget process is that we always go into early November with a lot of well-intentioned ideas of things to focus on. and then we see the actual numbers. And it gets really, really hard to pick and choose what gets funded and what doesn't. And it's never fun. It always feels like you're letting some people down. And so I'm open to this idea because that might make things easier. So yeah, we'll just sort of keep an open mind, I guess. and see
I
how
don't
that
think
goes.
it makes letting folks down any easier, but
No.
it gives you a framework for making the hard decisions
Yeah.
versus just a flip of a coin.
Yeah, yeah, it's not, and it's not a,
How you
yeah,
make
it's
decisions,
not a
you
flip
know,
of a coin, but yes, I hear what you're saying.
I have another question. Have we ever in your tenure, started out budget season with a goal, like please don't go above this percent or something along those
It's
lines?
a good segue because we typically, I believe Neil's conversations with the department heads are, I want to try to present a budget to us. The TA tries to present a budget to us that stays under a certain percentage
Okay.
increase.
Right.
But other than that, I don't recall us.
Collectively, it's always higher.
The percentage inflationary based, or is it?
I think that's part of it, but
It's part of it, but it's
Yeah.
also managing the tax rate.
right.
Yeah.
Get a sense of what the school's gonna do and how that's gonna impact the tax rate. And we're always the second wheel.
Yeah.
To the school district, because they make up 70% of the tax rate. And it's just the way it's always been. But, I believe because of debt service payments, our budget's going up a lot this year.
Okay,
That's
understood.
going, yeah.
Understood. So,
That's fixed. I mean, we don't have a choice about that.
yeah, no, understood. So, and then, I mean, if you give someone a directive, it is only fair to say based on your discretionary budget.
Correct.
And you know what, I think my experience with the department heads in budgetary issues has been they're very realistic.
Yeah,
Yes,
They're not trying to make a money grab for their department.
right. They're pretty conservative.
Then this is what they need. There's not much flexibility. We go through line by line and I think maybe we cut out $1,500 from the fire department's budget last year. And 2,000 from the police budget, DPW, probably nothing.
mhm,
And so, they're very good about their budgeting. And, it's gonna come down, debt service payments are gonna be a big factor this year. And I think we're gonna end up with a pretty big increase,
Yeah.
percentage-wise.
so that eats up a lot of the pie of the revenue that we can expect
Yeah.
from taxes, and so it gets very difficult to figure out how to fund everything else when the debt service portion of the pie grows bigger
Yes,
this particular year.
yes.
And then sometimes you have that coupled with the cost of providing insurance and other benefits goes up.
Right, or fuel.
Or, yeah, stuff like that, you have little sort of ability to,
Can't really influence it.
Yes.
yeah,
And then we have fixed costs, like it costs,
Yeah.
you need this many BTUs to heat the fire station regardless of the cost of fuel.
right.
Retirement, health insurance, all those things go up
Yeah.
higher than average percentages.
I wanted to circle back to you to see if when you eventually reach out to the department heads to start this process, do you typically give them any sort of guidance on, what sort of budget they should return to you?
As realistic and as small as possible.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
There are always, as Jeff was just saying, there are gonna be things that are beyond our control,
Mhm.
and those are going to drive a large part of the increase, so.
Right, and we want people to be, like you said, upfront and realistic and honest about what they anticipate.
But also, where I come from, be willing to make some sacrifices, identify, okay, if I don't get this, I'm not gonna be able to do that.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah, what's the trade-off?
what's the trade-off?
Right.
Give us.
You have to
some
decide if the
assurance.
cash is worth it.
Right, because that basically should trickle out to the community. If the community is gonna be upset about paying a certain number and, on their tax bill, then they've got to be willing to give up something if they want to pay less.
Yeah, I think that's what Alyssa made that comment during this process last year about let's tell everyone what was left on the cutting room floor so that they understand that we were already being, mindful and conservative.
Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just gonna, so I would, in my. I'd look to start this a little sooner, I think, just because I'm new and I'm already starting to dive into some of this stuff and we're, a couple months out.
How much sooner would you wanna start it?
Well, if they're due back to the office on October 10th, I would say, at least 2 to 3 weeks ahead of that, give us a little, give us a little more wiggle room. I'll have to reach out and see what the lead time has been, but we could be, sending something, well, if we had the request due, say, the third week or the end of the third week of September or, even October 1st, that's gonna give us another couple of weeks just to play with numbers and.
I mean, my sort of take on it is that portion of the process is largely driven by you. And so if you want more time to do that,
Okay.
please
Yeah.
bake that into the schedule. So, yeah.
So how are you folks feeling about this? Again, this is Neil's proposed schedule. I looked and it's almost identical to last year's. To Michael's comment that, get into November and it always kind of seems a lot worse. And I think you did set the budget a week later than the initial schedule last year. So or maybe it was a meeting later. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was. I remember that. Yeah.
It was delayed slightly, just slogging through the conversations. So,
This is a stupid question, but we have no meetings in January relative to the budget.
does it go on to the other side?
It goes from December 17th to February 3rd.
I mean, I think we're usually done by then.
I
Unless-
think we are too. I just
Yeah.
didn't know if it process wise.
So it
We actually
says,
sign the warrant
so it says on the,
in February, okay.
so it says on the blue one that let's see, the town's presentation to the budget committee is December 10th and then follow up on December 17th. So then it goes school and precincts and then deliberation. So I guess not. I guess at that point, the ship has sailed and we're waiting for feedback.
Yeah.
And just one more question on this particular schedule, which has a specific date already for school district and town meeting. Those usually aren't set until December, are they?
You mean when those presentations are made to the budget
When
committee?
the actual school meeting and town meeting.
Yeah, we usually figure that out a little later in the process, I think. I mean, the second Tuesday in March is baked in, like we have to have elections on that.
Yeah, so I get the election piece,
Yeah.
but
So
school meeting and town meeting aren't usually set until.
This probably, I mean, I didn't make it, but it probably follows what we've done in the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
we did have a hiccup this year with regards to the
district
public
meeting.
hearing being too close by one day to school district meeting. And so we had to postpone school district meeting, which was a big PR communication task to try and make sure everyone knew that. And I would like to avoid that. And I know that, of course, we are the town and not the school, but we are responsible for making and distributing this schedule. So Karen, do you mind going through the exercise of making sure that the distances on this proposed schedule between public hearing and meeting are appropriate? I appreciate it.
I think part of the hiccup last year was that some of the articles had required public hearings a certain number of days before the meeting. Like, I think it was the SB2 petition.
I thought that was
Accused
the
it.
issue, but
And so we may not be able to know with certainty the appropriate dates until
see.
we know all the warrant articles. that
See,
are-
that's hard.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I don't.
I see.
It's the- Oh, no, there it is. The third is the last day to petition a warrant article.
Yeah.
Are you anticipating SB2 coming in again as another petition?
Probably.
oh no, who knows? Yeah, who knows?
Be surprised if it didn't.
Yeah, that's a better way to say it, yeah.
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 It gets more traction once the tax rate is announced. I think budget increases are announced.
Have you, Vicky, heard anything from the budget committee about what they're sort of hoping to see in terms of numbers from us?
No, all the questions that were asked last time around, some of which I would like to, in the September meeting,
Yeah.
come with some, like, they wanted the updated list of priority of roads. I think we all would love that, it's easy, I think that's easy to ask Stan to update because that's something we need to know for our own, for budget purpose as well. But no, in general, the questions that were asked were more about service delivery, not about numbers
Okay,
at this time.
yeah.
And we're not meeting
Yeah.
until September.
Yeah.
Questions were mostly about service delivery. Were they just like wonderings or were they concerns?
I felt like they were wonderings. There was a very similar question to what Karen was just inquiring about the economic development director and whether or not we're gonna fill that. So you could argue that that is a monetary question, because that's a salary that we're not currently paying, but is budgeted for. But other than that, for instance, an example of why do we have a second ambulance? It was more along those lines about procedures and delivery indicators.
Question. Unrelated. Are we recording this, Karen?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't, there's usually a thing up there that says recording in progress or something. And there's usually a participant. Oh, okay, there you go. Well, I'm blind. I can't see that little writing. I thought there was a big red thing up above the town of Hopkins.
Right there.
There's usually, we're a participant or
That's a different screen.
attendee or something.
Yeah.
And there's usually,
Can you click on the participants just so we can see if there's anybody else?
Where'd they go?
It went down to 2.
We
Yeah,
kicked
we
them all. Jeff questions.
Nice.
It's one attendee.
Who's our attendee over there?
Is it us?
Yay, Catherine.
There we go. So Karen, you said that you thought that the schedule, you wanted a little more sort of time in there.
Advise, on the town piece of it,
Mhm.
obviously, I assume the budget committee, do they set their own schedule or does the?
So we basically provide a framework that's just based on what we did last year. I think the budget committee chairwoman would be welcome to change it if we feel like it needs changes, but because most of this rested with Neil year over year being the consistent repository of institutional information, he would just update it and distribute it. But I think budget committee is welcome to change it or add to it if they want to.
So, let me do a little more research on my end in terms of like when they got it out last year.
Sure.
Talk to department heads, what would it mean to bump it back? I had one person say, why isn't the budget, portal open all year? I could be adding things in as I realize what I need, so.
Yes,
Um,
definitely.
But I think Kelly has to do some work on her end of it first, so.
Okay, understood. But yeah, I mean, we fully support you if you want to move your own process
Okay.
up by 10 days or 2 weeks
Oh my gosh.
to.
Yeah.
Just have more confidence moving into the heavy meeting schedule ahead of
The
us.
fun part of it.
I think select board meets, what did God say?
Monday,
It's
November.
every Monday in the month of November. Okay, got it. And then, yeah, budget committee meets every Wednesday in the month of January.
Cool. Does anybody else have anything else for this budget process discussion? Did you have anything else?
No, I really appreciate.
Did you get the
Everything.
feedback you were sort of hoping for the time being?
I think we have, a framework for a reasonable process that will not overburden us or change the way the department heads anticipate moving forward.
Okay. Karen, are you?
Yeah,
okay?
I'm good with that. I just want to make sure that the budget committee and select board and any other interested parties have the information that
Yeah.
they need to see that informed decisions are being made.
Guys, got anything else on this? Okay,
Thank you. I really appreciate everybody talking it
no
through.
problem. More fun stuff to come on the budget. Okay, so next up, we have our list of abatements. And there are, I don't know how many individual applications we have to go through, so I won't count them all now. I will say that for all of these? Do we have recommendations on all of these? Yes.
do.
Okay, so on all of these, we got a recommendation from our newly hired assessor. I know that town staff has raised some, I don't want to call them concerns, but some is going to provide some additional information on a few of them. I've identified one that I would like to discuss individually. And so what I was hoping to do was go around the board members and see if anybody wants to pull all of these out for individual discussion. And if you don't, my suggestion is to vote on going by the recommendation of our assessor.
I accidentally closed out of, do you know where I should go from here to get back to our,
Board reference, select board meetings,
okay.
I think.
Meeting archive 2023. Will you help me, Karen? I'm sorry. I accidentally closed the internet and now I'm not sure how to get back to our abatements folder. I'm sorry.
Did you hit erase everything?
Race. Select board meetings. We want.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I think, we may want to start by looking in the folder because this is where Kara has put the notes. So those things with notes may be something you want to pull out of the consent agenda.
All right, hold on.
And that should happen.
You mean these ones here?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, so, okay, let me just flip through this real quick. Just bear with me, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
You okay?
Yep,
Okay.
totally fine. Everything's fine.
Mm-hmm.
The record will reflect that nothing odd happened. So what I'm doing is I'm just looking through here to pull out all of the applications where Hera has made a note. Because I think those are the ones we probably need to.
In addition to any that you have questions on. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so. The ones that Kara has provided some additional information on. Are. Map taxpayer Raymond, map and lot 25620. And this is, it looks like. Yeah, Brockway Road.
Okay.
And then Sandy Beach Campground, which we previously discussed. And then, oh yeah, and then tax map lot 217-20 Rojas,
Galloping Hill Road.
Galloping Hill Road, right? And then the other one that I wanted to talk about was 208-99, which is 756 Clement Hill Road.
Okay.
Does anybody have any other abatement applications they want to talk about separately?
So this consent agenda has 26404 under the
Yeah. George.
section,
With no recommendation next to
a
it.
recommendation, and so we probably need to talk about that.
Yeah. Okay. And Karen, you said there were some additional ones that weren't in the drive.
Yeah, there were, if you sort your abatement. Okay, Did I sort them?
My last modified.
Yeah, last modified, you'll see the one, the Friday dates, Thursday, Friday. You can see what I loaded up today.
Okay. Oh,
No, I think 26404 it was there, there's just no recommendation for it. But the
So
assessor says deny.
So how many total do we have?
I think there's close to 40,
Okay.
because I think I had about 20 up at the end of last week and they've been trickling in today.
There's 29 on the consent agenda.
Okay,
So if we have 40 total, that means we have at least,
so if, let's see, where's the count of documents in here? Because each abatement has two.
oh, that's true. They have an application and a recommendation.
Application and recommendation, and then there's one property in here that had not only a 2024 abatement request, but a 23 and a 22 as well.
Right. That's the one that I pulled out.
Okay. I'm looking at how to get a count of.
Oop.
2.
So are we trying to do
I think there is 40.
everything on the consent agenda except what's been pulled out en masse?
That's what I was hoping to do, but there's some that have been added.
Well, but on the consent agenda, there's 29.
Correct.
We pulled out what, 3?
We pulled out
5.
5.
5, okay?
Yeah,
So we can approve or deny the 24.
correct. Yep.
And I just looked up 264-4, that is a deny, that's in,
It's a deny.
that
Okay.
was in here.
All right. Was that? When was that one put in the drive? Do you know, Karen?
That looks like. The date on this is 7/25, so that would have been Friday maybe,
Okay.
but she might not have
264.
processed it until today.
This looks like it was modified today.
And that, yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't remember this one, so that's a new one. Okay, so I'm
Can
gonna
you say
keep,
something?
yep,
And you all can correct me if I'm wrong here, but it seems like we've got the application
mhm,
and the determination documents for each one,
yep.
but 233-9. It seems like 233-9, we have the determination, but not the application.
I remember looking at this one and I think the PDF may be mislabeled.
Okay, okay.
I do have all of the applications in this box here, so we can, if we.
Okay.
after that, we can paw through there and get it.
Okay, so let me just say again what's being pulled off the consent agenda. It's 677 Clement Hill Road, which is 208-3. It's 311 Galloping Hill Road, which is 21720. It's 390 Brockway Road, which is 25602. It is 756 Clement Hill Road, which is 20899. And then George Road is on the consent agenda, but it wasn't added to the drive until the middle of the day. So I don't know when people looked at the drive. I looked at it before anything was added today. And so anything added middle of the day or this afternoon, I haven't had a chance to look at yet.
I looked at it over the weekend, so I didn't look at anything going on today.
Okay.
And then do we just have the RSA here to remind ourselves why abatements might be granted?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is, yeah, varying amounts of guidance.
I guess my question is for the ones that are in the folder that are not on the consent agenda.
I don't know which ones those are for sure.
I thought she had added them all, so
Well,
I think we got more on in the folder.
that's what I'm sort of struggling with is,
I can't match anything up right now.
Yeah.
My brain is struggling with this.
Well, and the big one at the top, 677 Clement Hill, there's nothing in here on that, I don't think.
no, that's probably from a prior meeting. Hmm. So here's what I'm gonna do.
I think I remember that, right? We wanted to know what had happened where they accidentally doubled the count of cabins and whether or not that was
Right.
an understandable mistake or a real snafu or.
Looked at that, Karen and I looked at it together, and the property card has multiple pieces to it.
Yeah, I
The first one
remember
has
that.
Multiple cards. It was on the first one with the value assigned for the campgrounds, and then it was on the second card as well.
Oh,
So it was in fact duplicated.
Let's park that for right now, because I want to try to figure out what's on the consent agenda and what's not, and then we can talk about individual ones.
do you want me to just redo the numbers and you can check them off?
That's what I was gonna suggest, yeah.
Okay, so should I just start?
You, is it however you want to do it,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, I'm gonna start with the 100s. Ready? 102.49,
Second. Okay,
104.19,
okay.
105.7.
Can I pause for a second?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that everything you read was in the folder, in the abatement folder.
Yes, I'm reading you the abatement folder and you and I are figuring out which of these are actually on the consent agenda.
Got it, okay. Got it.
Right, so
That's what I have.
does that make sense?
Yep, 105,
Wait,
7.
I have a radical idea.
What?
Should I make a folder and as I read them to you, drag it in so that we have them in two separate places?
Sure, if that's easy for you to do.
Sure, yeah, I mean, as long as I have permission to do it. Okay,
Thank you for doing the good work. Crushing it. Can I get you guys anything?
Good, all good.
okay. I wonder, Karen, can I make a folder within this folder?
So
New folder. I'm gonna call this one consent agenda abatements
Included.
included. Create. Okay, where's my folder? Where's my folder? Oh, right here. Okay, so let's start again. This is very exciting.
Okay,
Okay, 102-49.
yep. On the consent agenda.
Wait, before you move stuff, hang on one second, let's just.
Oh, shit. It says if I move them into my folder, then everyone that has access to it has access to it.
Don't do that. But I'll just mark it.
Okay.
Last one I had is 105.7.
Okay, perfect. Then 105.34,
Okay,
202.15,
hold on.
and we will write these down if they are not on the consent agenda.
Okay, go ahead.
202.18,
Okay,
202.32,
okay,
208.38,
okay.
208.41,
Mhm.
208.99.
Okay.
That's the one that has 2022, 2023, 2024.
Correct.
20914,
All right.
20922,
Okay.
20923,
Okay.
21718,
Okay.
21720,
Okay.
21737,
Okay.
22284,
All right.
222-105,
Okay.
223-9,
Hold on a second. Say that one more time.
223-9.
And I think that might be the one that's mislabeled because there's no,
Oh,
The
okay, it's
application?
233. It's the sister to this one down below it. I see it. I see it. We'll,
just open that up and confirm.
yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Where are you, my friends? Where do you live? Yep, 233.
Old
Yeah,
Homes Road.
yeah, okay.
So that's in there. Okay.
So I wonder, am I allowed to change the name of this video? All right, sorry. Okay, to continue, 223-54,
Okay.
223, excuse me, 224-9,
Okay.
225-110,
Okay.
230-12,
Okay.
233-9,
Okay.
235-3-1,
All right.
236-40,
Okay.
240-43,
Okay.
240-49,
Hold on a second. Say that one again.
240-49.
40.
Okay, that's not on here.
No, it's not.
So write that down, guys.
Got it.
240. Okay, 241-20,
24120, not on there. All right.
241-57,
Not on there.
242-16,
Not on there.
242-26.
Not on there. 24226.
Mhm.
Okay.
249-5 and 249-9. It says all in one,
Same owner.
I suppose so. It's all in one application.
Okay. 249.9.
And 249-5.
All right, those are not on the agenda. Keep rolling.
Okay, 251-19,
Not on there. 251.19.
mm-hmm. 251-28,
5128. Okay. Not on there.
256-20,
Not on there.
264-4.
Oh, that's on there.
Yay.
Okay.
And lastly, 264-8.
264-8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have then nine applications that are not on the consent agenda.
Okay.
So we will take those off. We will not be voting on those en masse. We'll have to do those individually because they're not on the consent agenda. So just to make a clean record of this, We had 29 properties on the consent agenda.
I came up with about 37. In the full file.
Yeah, and there's 9 additional applications, which would get us to 38, which is pretty
Okay.
close, yeah. All right, so. I'm gonna repeat the ones that we are not gonna vote on as part of the consent agenda, and then we can start going through these individually.
Sounds good.
But my concern is, and I'm just pulling this one out, 264-4,
Mhm.
which is a deny on George Road. I have not had a chance to look at that one because it wasn't added until this afternoon. So I'm concerned that there may be others that are on the consent agenda that some of us have not had an opportunity to look at because they weren't added until,
Was added today. Is
Yeah.
probably. As even so, and some of those did make it to the consent agenda.
yeah, so we need to pull those out then as well. So Vicky, can you
Yeah,
figure out the last modified and
Mhm.
just tell me which ones were added today? Because those are gonna have to be
think so.
pulled out, so you can use my
Yeah.
computer for it.
okay, so based on last modified, which means they've been added as of today. In like the 3 o'clock time frame. Does that sound right, Karen?
There's also 12:55
I
today too.
put some up midday too.
Yeah,
Oh, okie dokie. Okay, so I guess from the most recent, working my way backwards,
Mhm.
and we'll just go slowly.
sure.
21720,
All right,
202-18,
okay,
202-15,
okay,
21737,
all right,
10249,
102-49 you said? Oh, there it is, okay,
225-110,
okay,
222-105,
got it, okay,
256-20,
okay,
264-4,
okay,
235-3-1,
okay,
249-5 and 249-9.
okay, those were not part of the consent agenda already, so
Okay.
go ahead.
Perfect. 242-16,
Okay, also not part of the consent agenda.
240-43,
All right,
240-49,
okay,
264-8,
okay,
let's see, 251-19,
okay,
251-28.
okay.
That's it.
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of those that you just read are on the consent agenda, but not added until today. So we need to do those separately as well. All right, so let me,
Here, just in case you need a different
thank you.
the highlighter for you.
Yep, yep. Right, so the following properties are not going to be voted on as part of the consent agenda.
Okay,
And this is going to be repetitive to what I've said before, so I'm just going to list it all at one time. 208-3, which is Clement Hill Road, that's the campground. 202-15, that's Joe Sylvia Way. 202-18, that's Cloth Lane. 217-20, that's on Galloping Hill Road. 235-3-1, that's Bassett Mill Road. 256-02, that's Brockaway Road.
202, 020.
Oh, you're right. Thank you. Thanks, guys. 256-20, Brockaway Road. 264-04, George Road. 102-49 on Maple Street. 208-99, Clement Hill Road. 217-37, Barton Corner. 222-105, Park Ave. 225-110, Eagle Lane. And 240-43, Watchtower Road. So those are being pulled off of the consent agenda. And I'm hoping that somebody checked the properties that I just said, because I'd like the next motion to be to take action on what's on the consent agenda.
I took note of what we're pulling off of the consent agenda.
Okay.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Are the right-hand column here, whether it says, I mean, I guess in the denied column, it's not there, but for the ones that we have recommendations for, is this money that would be refunded?
Yes.
Okay,
That's the abatement that we are saying we agree to pay back to the taxpayer.
okay.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And does the abatement affect the taxes moving forward on this property?
It affects the assessed value
Yeah.
upon which the taxes are based.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the property cards, if granted, are adjusted accordingly?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Anybody have any other questions before we vote on the remaining properties on the consent agenda?
Did
Okay,
you say that you had wanted to take out and talk about 208?
99.
38?
208-99.
Well, that one, but I didn't know if maybe I just marked it incorrectly, but 208-38, was that on your list of ones you wanted to talk
It is
about?
not on my list. You can add it.
Nope, don't want to add it.
Yep. Not on my list.
Just making sure.
Yeah. Okay, so I,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Does that sound right? 16 remain on the list.
yep, I have 16 as well. So I will make a motion that we agree with the recommended action of our assessor on the 16 properties that remain on the consent agenda.
Seconded.
Any discussion?
Not unless you want to read the map and lot number for each one into the record.
I will.
I-
You want?
It's probably a
It's
good
been a
idea.
relatively confusing 20 minutes.
Probably a good idea. So I will do that, Jeff. That's a good idea. So the motion on the floor.
And I would stick with just the map and lot number,
Okay, okay.
not the address.
Now you're getting a little particular. But I'll let it,
I'll protect you.
okay, okay. I'm gonna let it slide this time. All right, so the motion on the floor is to agree with the assessor's recommended course of action for the following 16 properties, and I'm gonna read their map and lot number. 20841, 20922, 22284, 23012, 230.
Skip 23354.
I'm just going down the list of,
Skip 23354.
It's 22354, I believe.
yeah. Oh, no, I had that one. You're right, I did.
Okay.
22354. 230-12. 23640. 10419. 10507. 10534. 20232. 20838. 20914. 20923. 21718. 22409. And the last one is 23309.
I feel better. Second.
Any discussion?
Thank you to Kara for all her hard work.
Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, those properties that I just called out, their abatements have either been granted or denied, depending on what the recommendation was from the assessor. So that was the easy part, and now we get to
You'll see me, see.
now we get to talk about the ones that we've pulled off. Karen, do you want to bring us up to speed on the campground and Clement Hill Road? Because you were just saying that you and Kara chatted about that already.
Yeah, we actually dove into that and I think it was a time frame of like over the summer through October before it was adjusted. It was listed twice. It was on the first card and on the second card, sites were listed. And then our current assessor removed that duplication.
How long was that duplication there for?
Hard to tell, but certainly not more than 1 year. We did go back.
It's just.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Great, so it was just on that, I was making sure it wasn't like,
Yes.
Since our revaluation.
Big number, of course, the number of years, that was a big problem.
that'd be very sad.
I'm just reading the narrative that, did you and Kara prepare this, or did this come from?
That came from the assessor.
That came from John, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna read this to you guys.
Please
just so
do,
you
yeah.
have it. Sometime between the August 2024 notice of preliminary assessment sent by Jeff Earls, our prior assessor, and the November 2024 second period tax bill, someone with the prior assessor, cross-country appraisal, added 185 campsites to the extra features valuation section of card 1 and card 2 of the 4 assessing cards connected with this parcel. This duplication of the number of campsites added $1,587,300 to the value sent in the assessment notice, which resulted in the 4.7 approximately assessment that caused them to file an abatement application. By removing the duplicated 185 campsites from card 2, the revised assessment and the abatement recommendation provided by our current assessor is back to the value that was sent out in 2024 notice of preliminary assessment that was provided by our previous assessor during the revow. So it sounds like to just reiterate what Karen just said, when you pull out those duplicative 185 campsites, you get down to the August 2024 preliminary assessment value that our prior assessor figured. So it sounds like they are deserving of a abatement. And then reading the recommendation from our current assessor, my recommendation that this abatement request be granted. After reviewing the property card, it was discovered that the number of sites was listed twice, basically doubling the site value. After reviewing the appraisal submitted by the taxpayer, I feel that this new assessed value is more in line with the market value. So any further conversation about this particular property?
Move to approve the abatement request for map 208-003 as recommended by the appraiser.
I get a second?
Seconded.
Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right. Let's do this one. That one. All right. I'm going to go down the consent agenda right now and just do the ones that we pulled out, unless anybody has a preference for a different way to do it. So the first one up then is 20215 Joe Sylvia Way. Guys, let me know when you've had a chance to look at it.
Can I ask what it means where the remarks say this sale was not an arm's length transaction and is not a valid sale with regards to trying to find a comp? What is an arm's length transaction?
It means that there was a motivated buyer and a motivated seller. So both sides were trying to get the best possible deal for themselves. And there wasn't any sort of extenuating circumstances like a foreclosure or like selling to a family member where you might cut them a deal.
Okay.
That's my sort of, I don't know if Jeff or Karen want to add to that.
No, that's
No.
how I would have explained it.
Yeah.
In particular, it's often cases of related party.
Okay.
We good? Offensive. So
It's the, I think some notes ended up in the wrong file and then it's just throwing me, but otherwise I am good.
How you doing, Vicky?
I guess I'm confused about the note that says that this is a 3-season cottage. Is that actually applicable to what we're talking about here? Or is that just a anecdotal description by the
You
applicant?
looking at the property card?
No, I was looking at the application.
That may just be how they're describing it.
Okay.
So my sort of personal process on these is that and this is just personal to me, so someone else may do it differently. But, we hired John Hatfield as our current assessor to look at these applications and look through all the documentation. And so I trust that he's done a thorough and diligent job reviewing the request for the abatement and sort of researched whether there's any merit to it or not. So unless there's something really sort of funky in the remarks, then, I tend to trust that, we hired a competent assessor to do a valid job.
Understood.
I move that we vote to confirm the assessor's recommendation for map 202-015 and deny.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, say aye.
I,
Any opposed? Okay. Next up, we have 202-18 on Cloth Lane. Anybody want some more time on this one?
no, it's okay.
Okay, is there a motion?
I move that we confirm the assessor's recommendation to deny the abatement request for map 202, lot 018.
Second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
Any opposed? Okay. The next one is 217-20.
is this, what was the one that you had flagged, Stephen?
That one is
Later.
later on.
Okay.
Yeah, this is one that Kara had a note on.
Oh, okay, please.
And so let me read you the note that she provided here. Says, receive the application on, this says May 5th, but I think it means March. Oh, no, it's March 5th. I'm just misreading her note. Person delivering this application said they mailed one in February, but did not make a copy. And that's significant because by law, you're supposed to at least put it in the mail before the end of February. And so if we didn't receive it until the 5th and she didn't have evidence of mailing, then arguably it was not timely submitted. And the remarks, the assessor's remarks say, it is my recommendation this abatement request be denied. This abatement was not filed by the March 1st deadline, and this makes it an automatic denial. Also, after reviewing this house and comparing it to others on the same street, I believe this is accurately assessed. Would like to make a motion?
I move that we confirm the assessor's recommendation to deny the abatement request for map 217, lot 020.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
I,
Any opposed? Okay. now we are on to 235-3-01. 235-03-1. Oh, there it is. Ready for a motion?
I move that we confirm the assessor's recommendation to deny the abatement request for lot map 235, lot 003-001.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Right, next one is 256-20, and this one had a note from Kara. And the note is a little cryptic, so I don't know, Karen, if you were able to add anything to this. The note, I'll read you verbatim the note. It says, maybe another look at this, question mark.
Okay,
And the assessor said, my recommendation that this be denied. The taxpayer is questioning the reason their land adjustment changed. When values are updated, so are land adjustments. And so the land adjustment is based off what current market trends are.
Okay, yeah, I don't think I understand their request. I mean, I can read here, it says, my property is 6 acres of 9 on power lines and partial cellar dirt. Why only 10% was subtracted rather than 30%? Why in 23 was it changed from 30% to 10%? Can you help me understand what that means?
Let me pull up the text.
Trying to take a stab, Vicky.
Go for it.
I think what they're saying is that they get an adjustment because of the power lines on their property.
Okay.
And because of their dirt cellar versus it being a usable living space, it doesn't probably count in their total living space, right? And so they were saying in 2023, they got a 30% adjustment of some kind, but in the new one, it was only 10%.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
So in 2007, it was 30%. Yeah, 236.44.
Yeah, they're questioning the reason about their.
256.20, right, guys? That's what we're on, 256.20.
Yes. Yep, Brockway Road.
I mean, if I were the taxpayer, I'd also be curious why it would go from 30 to 10. And I'm not sure I have a reason. Looking at the adjuster's remarks.
I think what the assessor is saying is that market trends are moving in the direction that the property is more valuable And, you know, that the, whatever was causing the 30% adjustment is less of an impact.
Anyone want to make a motion?
Are we done with the questions?
Well, there'll be another opportunity before we vote, so
I move that we affirm the assessor's recommendation to deny the abatement request for map 256, lot 020.
is there a second? I will second. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
All opposed?
I guess I'm gonna say aye to the prior prompt.
Let's revote.
Okay.
Okay, the motion is to affirm the assessor's recommendation. There was a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I,
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. This goes. Okay, now we're on to 264-4. Ready for a motion?
Hang on.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Okay.
Everybody else ready to act on this one? Anyone want to make a motion?
I move that we affirm the assessor's recommendation to deny the abatement request for map 264, lot 004.
Is there a second?
seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. All right. Now we should get to some more fun ones, depending on your perspective. Okay, 102-49. This is on Maple Street. We ready for a motion?
Sure.
I move that we vote to approve, to affirm the assessor's recommendation to grant the abatement request for map 102, lot 049.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next one is the one that I wanted to pull. This is kind of a complicated one. It's 20899 on Clement Hill Road. And there were two parts of this. One was an appraisal.
Are they all upside down?
Yeah, they are. It's really a pain.
Okay.
One is an appraisal, and that's not why I wanted to pull it out. I actually am comfortable with what the assessor recommended. So in other words, I agree that we should grant an abatement for 2024 taxes. The reason I wanted to talk about it is that this taxpayer also is asking for an abatement on 22 and 23 because he's saying the town used the wrong ratios when calculating the taxes. And I'm hoping that, Karen, I hope that you have a little bit of, and if not, we can put this one aside to deal with it at a different meeting because there's some digging that probably needs to happen to figure out whether that's accurate.
think from Mike, do you have the actual form over there?
I probably do. Yeah, just,
There's a file here that came in late.
yep, give me a second here. Yeah, and the letter is certainly easier to read in hard copy because it's not upside down.
From a technical perspective. Are they too late to ask for this 2022 and 2023 abatement?
You can,
So,
go ahead, Karen.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I think that is why Kara provided the RSA. Because it is a bit confusing between RSA where it states that there are deadlines for filing. Abatements. And the select board can grant them, but then it also says and prior years. So.
So the prior years part, just for you guys looking at the statute, is at the very top. Roman 1, little a, it's in that first line. May abate any tax, including prior year's taxes.
Then why does the deadline matter?
The deadline applies to the current year's taxes or the taxes that were just assessed.
And so the person who says that they mailed theirs and it didn't get to us and they didn't have a copy and they dropped one off. If they wanted to push their case, they could just wait for next year's, like they could be like, I'm just submitting a year early and just sit on it for a year and.
Guess they could. I guess my view, I would deny it for the same reason.
I'm just curious, cause I'm like, what is the,
Well, that's sort of the question here is, they missed the deadline for 2022 and 2023. Or should we separate this into two questions? Let's deal with 24. And if possible, delay 22 and 23.
I'm fine with that approach. And like I said, I'm comfortable with the granting the abatement for 2024 because they have an appraisal to back up that the number ought to be lower. And it sounds like our assessor agrees that the appraisal has some merit.
Yes.
If we want to keep thinking about the prior year's question, we can certainly separate that and deal with it later and maybe give Karen a chance to do a little more research and maybe reach out.
Yes, counsel.
And reach out to legal counsel as well. Yeah. So for guidance to Karen, it sounds like there's a question about how the deadlines operate versus the language of granting an abatement for prior tax years.
Yep.
Is anybody else? And let's do it this way. If you have other questions you want to pose to legal counsel, send them to Karen. Because I don't want to put people on the spot to think of those questions while we sit here. So
I
we
mean,
keep
I'm
this
just
moving.
curious if there's validity to their request for 2022 and 2023.
I looked at the cover letter and I looked at some of the numbers that they cited in the cover letter. I didn't have a chance to go to the actual hour documentation
Yeah.
to see if they were correct or not. So I don't know. And if you look at the recommendation from the assessor,
Yeah.
he kind of pushed that responsibility to us because he wasn't involved in those earlier assessments, which I understand. So we don't have a recommendation on that part of the abatement request.
May I ask a question? I think I know the answer, but in the letter from the attorneys, their calculation of the incorrect, but the difference of what should be taxed and what was taxed was
The ratios.
16,000 and something, and now on our line item here, it's 17,032, and I assume that that is the interest that we mentioned, but I'm just not sure. I'd like someone else to confirm that for me, that.
It also could be that our assessor didn't entirely credit the appraisal that they submitted, but gave it some weight.
Our number is larger than the one in the attorney's letter.
Maybe that's the interest then.
Okay, yeah, by about $1,000.
Yeah, I mean, interest is 4% from when they paid it to when we pay it back, that period of time. So
Got it.
could be about $1,000.
Got it. And so, I still think asking the attorney for advice is worth it, but just out of curiosity, we're theoretically accumulating interest as we discuss, right?
Sure are.
Okay,
Yep. Yep.
so we're doing it right.
Yeah.
Principles are more important than a few dollars.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we screwed up in 22 and 23 and they're right about that, I'd want to know that, even if it means it takes more time for us to get to that conclusion.
And just circling back around to Alyssa's point about the people that missed the deadline, they're welcome to reapply, and if they are approved, they will get interest for the time that's elapsed.
From the back years, yeah, I think so. I think that's
Right.
right. Yep.
So,
Reapply if you've been denied.
You can try.
I would hope so, if it's just a schedule.
Question.
And I'll say that
Schedule.
Well, because also
I
you
would
just
hope
keep
so.
reapplying until you have a select board that you feel is friendly to your cause. So I'm just curious, like, what is the?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know the answer to this, and maybe this is another one for legal counsel, but so not from a legal perspective, but just as a board member, if they reapply next year and the reasoning is exactly the same, I'm gonna vote to deny it again.
Right, but what about like 3 years from now and we've all changed out and there's 5 different people sitting up here? This is not gonna be shush, Jeff, no, I know.
Divisible by 3.
So all that to say, I do not want to get caught up in the full semantics of it, because I know we have other ones to go through. Like Steve and I am comfortable granting 2024, but I am curious about these like limitations and all of this to help think about.
I'd say let's pose that to legal.
Yeah,
Yes.
and also I don't love the optics of like, you get a yes if your attorneys write it, but you get a no if it's just, like citizen writing to us and getting, off of, and not being on the right schedule.
I hear you, but we, I don't know if we've gotten to them yet, but our assessor did recommend granting some abatements where an attorney was not involved.
Got it.
And you're presumed to know the law even if you don't hire an attorney. And so if the deadline is X, you're presumed to know that. And so you got to get it on time.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so did you get the second question for the attorney, Karen?
Well, the first one is the timing and the second one is, remind me.
So what? Listen.
Reapplication for denial.
Yeah,
Well, I was going to chime in. They reapplying after denial is appealing to the BTLA in a sense. That is your next step for the current year. I don't know how that falls with prior years, so that, yeah, I will ask that question.
yeah, it could be the distinction is if you've actually requested a local abatement and been denied, then you're right. you can't reapply next year because your only course of action is to appeal to the BTLA or Superior Court.
Mhm.
But that's probably something we need to know for this tricky one of 22 and 23. Did they
Okay.
seek an abatement for 22 or 23 and flag that incorrect equalization ratio already?
Yes,
And we've already looked at it and denied it,
yeah, so did 208.99 request 2022
or 23
or
earlier.
2023 earlier than now?
So I'm gonna, to move this along, make a motion that we accept our assessor's recommendation and grant the abatement, but only for 2024. And we'll circle back to 2022 and 2023 at a later date.
Second.
All those, any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
Okay, yeah, and I'm sorry, just to be clear, based on what we just talked about, looking through this upside down document, it seems like all three of the abatement requests, applications, excuse me, were received in February of this year.
So they may not have previously asked for an abatement for those reasons, but we'll get confirmation on that. Okay, so the next one is 21737 on Barton Corner. 21737. Ready for a motion?
Sure. I'll move to accept the assessor's recommendation to grant the abatement for Matt lot number 217-037.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Next one is 222-105. 222-105. Ready for a motion?
You're so fast.
Sorry, you can say no. It's okay.
I did it. Done.
Does anyone ever say you undervalued my house?
Probably. Well, actually, probably not. Okay, I owe you guys money.
When he says I've adjusted the grade to be more in line with similar houses, is that like a coefficient or is that literally like topography, like the grade?
Not topography, it's
Okay.
it's an adjustment he makes on the tax card.
Quality.
It's a quality
believe
coefficient?
So,
Okay.
Oh, that's what you meant by coefficient, sorry. Sorry, Jeff was speaking your language, I was not.
If I could turn my head that far.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Ready for a motion?
So I move that we affirm the assessor's recommendation to grant the abatement requests for map 222 lot 105.
Seconded.
Any discussion? All those in favor? All right. Now we're on to 225-110. 225-110.
You sound like you're calling bingo numbers.
I wish I was calling. Brendan.
With structures. $106 pages.
Oh, is that the application?
They have a home inspection
Oh.
report attached.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Someone ready to make a motion?
I move that we vote to affirm the assessor's recommendation to grant the abatement request for map 225 lot 110.
Seconded.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next up is 240-43. 240-43.
I'm not sure I understand this one.
I think what they're saying
Interesting.
is that they got a little bump in value previously for a nice view, but then the foliage is now in the way and it's no longer there. So that bump has been adjusted.
Okay.
Are we good?
Make a motion?
Move that we affirm the assessor's recommendation to grant the abatement for lot 240, map 240 lot 043.
Seconded.
Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so now we're
Off of this list.
off of the list and on to what was added today that didn't make it onto the consent agenda.
That's it. And there will be notes in there.
Okay, all right, so,
Okay.
but does anybody else have these or just this is the only set? And it's not on.
I think they're in here.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
So first up is 240-4. Let me just stop. Does anyone want to take a break? Take 5 real quick. We have 9 more applications to go before we get through all of the abatements, and then we can take a break if people want one.
That
Okay,
sounds great.
nobody's saying I want a break now, so we're gonna plug ahead. Okay. 240-49.
So, I'm just curious, Steve. Do you have the assessment card there?
I do. The hard copy, yes.
Was the house 100% completed when it was assessed?
What was your question?
Is the house 100% completed? I know she was building a house. I don't know when it was completed relative to the assessment.
Let's see, looks like new dwelling at 50% for April 1st.
Okay.
Hold on. 23 update, dwelling appears 100%, allowing 5% for landscaping. 24 update, removed 5% UC and adjusted pool to 60. Yep.
So is the applicant contesting that building on neighbor properties has reduced the view? No.
So we overcharged her from the start. She doesn't have any view to the good view on Gould Hill.
Any other discussion on this one? If not, how about a motion?
I move that we affirm the assessor's recommendation that the abatement for map 240 lot 049 be granted.
Seconded.
Any discussion? All those I'm sorry, go ahead.
I guess I'm confused about how we got here. Why was this person given a view tax? Just the street? Do you think it was just the street name sort of?
Certainly all of the houses on the left side as you go up have views.
Okay,
So she's contending that she was taxed at a higher rate. It appears she's contending, and the assessor agrees that she was taxed at a higher rate for her views than other properties nearby.
She
So-
kind of describes it more on the application.
yeah, I mean, I see what she means about the cell phone tower. I just. Okay, I'm not trying to make this longer or harp on anybody, but it just feels like, okay. There was a mistake on the property card for Sandy Beach and now we're refunding $36,000. There's a mistake on the equalization ratio for. Clement Hill and that's $17,000. And now we're saying this is a mistake on whether or not they have a view.
Lemon Hill was not a mistake on the equalization ratio for
put that-
2024.
I'm sorry, why were they requesting an abatement?
They say they were overassessed, not based on the ratio, I don't believe.
For 24, it wasn't based on the ratio. For 24, they got an appraisal done, which came in at a lower number than what we had assessed it for.
Okay,
And so the assessor said, I think your appraiser's probably right. And he recommended to us that we abate 24. For 22 and 23, they also challenged the equalization ratio.
but that's a
We
different.
parked that, right, we
Okay.
parked that to come back to.
Okay, understood. So then again, removing my second comment, just adding in the first to the third here where we're being asked to refund over $5,000 because they're saying that this was not properly assessed. And it's something that is visible from the outside of the property, whether or not they have a view, that you don't need to key in to get that information. So I'm not seeing a pattern because I think we're having like maybe the older assessor and then the newer assessor and it's a transition, but how many tens of thousands of dollars do we end up refunding for errors?
I think it depends on the year. I mean, anytime our assessor goes out and values a property and the characteristic that he's ascribing value to is not accurate, somebody can apply for an abatement. And if they're right, then they're entitled to a refund.
Right. So it just feels like maybe we need to maybe as we go through this process again next year, like look for patterns and something that we need to address.
Yeah.
It is, we also need to recognize that when the reval was done, over 200 taxpayers came to discuss with the assessors their assessments before they were finalized. So many of these problems got nipped in the bud, if you will,
Mhm.
before the assessments were finalized.
This also is a bigger year, right? Because it's the whole,
It's every 5 years to do the whole town.
yeah.
And so, that 2024 assessment, everybody's value went up 60 to 160%. I
Mhm.
think 78 was the average. And so, yeah, some people were very upset, and especially, at the time the assessments came out, the market was starting to slow down. Doesn't seem to be the case, but people were concerned the market was slowing down because the growth had been so aggressive during COVID that, the values, I mean, I wasn't surprised by the 78% average increase. But, some people had 120 or 125% increase, and I can see being upset by that.
Yes.
It's a big jump. Yep.
So this group of 40 would have been 150 that we'd be going over now if those.
If we didn't
people
have
had
that
these
window.
assessors, right? So I don't necessarily think, and some people are more aggressive about asking for abatement than others. Certainly this individual knows a lot about real estate, understands values, built her house in that spot for a reason, and she
Doesn't want to be taxed on
she doesn't want to pay tax, but she had an appraisal done and or added her own comparables and arguments, and the assessor agrees.
Yeah, absolutely. I just was under the impression that during the assessment, over the course of the years leading up to it, there is a physical walk around every single property.
Every 5 years, there should be,
But I think they do it in phases leading up to the 5th year.
usually, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So when the last physical walkthrough happened here, I don't know, we could maybe figure that out for
No.
studying the tax card.
It was just built.
So, yeah,
And so there was a final inspection by the building inspector and probably by the assessor at that point.
yeah.
Because anything new gets valued by the assessor when it's completed.
So as
Okay.
raw land, they maybe just drove by it. Or maybe just did a satellite view of it, maybe even,
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
unable to
because it's just raw. land.
scrutinize
Yeah.
the view
Yeah,
at that
right,
point.
right.
Okay. Okay, thank you guys for the
No, I'll-
sidebar.
So there's a motion and a second on the floor already to accept the recommendation to grant this abatement. So no more conversation on this. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So the next one is 24120. 24120. And Kara has a note on this one. After we bring it up here. You guys finding this one in the drive? It is? Okay, I'm just,
I don't like the applicant, so I want to deny.
glad that's on the record. That's good.
I wish he was online.
Yeah.
He used to be a board member.
Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, I see the application online, but not the recommendation.
It is my recommendation that this abatement request be granted. This property was originally listed for 1.5 million and sold earlier this year for 900,000. The grade and depreciation were adjusted to bring the value to be more in line with market value.
Thank you. Any, ready for a motion on this one?
So I think this is one that Kara and I had talked about.
That's right. Go ahead, Karen.
I believe the new owners of the property purchased it in February, at the end of February, and very quickly applied for an abatement. And not that the value of the property shouldn't be revisited, but I have had conflicting information as to where an abatement check should be sent.
I guess it depends on who paid it.
That was what one comment was whoever paid the taxes should get the taxes back because this is for a prior year, 2024. The Department of Revenue refused to weigh in.
I'm sorry, so the question is send it to the homeowner because they're the applicant, or send it to the prior homeowner because they were the ones who actually paid the 2024 taxes?
Correct.
Okay,
I would like to consult legal counsel on this one as well, just in terms of assuming the abatement is granted,
Sure.
where the check goes.
I agree with that.
Let's,
Table it, or you want a complex motion?
I want a complex motion because I don't want to visit it again if we get,
Okay.
I move. You gonna make the complex motion?
I move that we confirm the assessor's recommendation and grant an abatement for map 241 lot 20, subject to a request from town council to determine who the abatement dollars should be sent to. Yes?
Can I add to that?
Oh,
And further that we will tender the abatement payment to the person, the party identified by town council.
like I said that, but okay.
Did you say that?
So, yeah,
Okay. Should we do it over?
no.
All right.
Kane has a version that'll work.
Yeah, that's fine.
I second your amendment to the motion. I know you seconded my original motion, subject to your amendment.
Okay. Any further discussion?
God, no.
All those in favor?
Aye.
can I abstain?
Sure.
They're like close family friends.
Did?
I don't want to-
Small town America.
Feels weird.
Yeah, that's fine. So. Okay, this one. There, so next one is 24157
It's upside down.
-1. 24157-1.
This is 140 pages.
Yep,
And
it's
you
an
must
appraisal.
read every single one.
Is upside down.
You can flip it.
Can you in these books? I couldn't figure out how.
Did it?
No, I don't think you can, the way that this comes up. Like if you open it in, not within this Google Drive, but within
Oh, maybe that's,
Adobe PDF. you
Yeah,
can
I think you
rotate.
have to open it in a new.
okay.
Rotate it, save it.
I thought I tested that, but
You'll have the recommendation? You have the recommendation?
Yes,
Okay,
I've got,
I just want to be sure.
yeah, I found this one.
Is there a sticky on it?
Nope.
irrevocable trust. That's fun.
Someone want to make a motion?
I move that we affirm the appraiser's recommendation to grant the abatement from map 241, lot 57-1.
Seconded.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next one is 242-16, and there's a note on this one. 242-16. Okay, the note on this one is that looks like this is similar to another application we dealt with earlier. The application was delivered in person on March 3rd. And again, the due date is by March 1st. And the other note on here says that the other late application was 217-20. And the recommendation on that one was to deny because it was late.
I don't believe the recommendation was because it was late.
Yes, it was an automatic denial.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's what it said, yeah.
That's the issue here. If that one was, they're not automatic denial because it was late.
Hang on, which one? Could you, the previous lot number again?
217-20.
That's not what he said on here. He said, it is my recommendation that this abatement request be denied. After reviewing this house and comparing it to others on the same street, I believe this is accurately assessed. So he didn't deny because of
The one I looked at, and maybe it was,
217-20.
no, maybe because I had a hard copy, it was different than what's on the folder.
Went by what was written.
Oh, it must have been a note that I read from.
It was a note.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry. But we did deny that one though.
We did, but I mean, I denied it not because it was
Right.
late, but because he had said it was
Right.
fairly assessed.
Yeah. Here, I mean. Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter if you don't get your application in on time. I mean, you're not entitled to an abatement.
There's a
Until
process,
next year.
Possibly.
Maybe, subject to what legal counsel says, you know.
Just saying.
Yeah,
We were entertaining ones from 2022 and 2023
Sure.
earlier.
sure. So I will make a motion that we go against the assessor's recommendation and deny this application because it was not timely filed. And that is for map 242, lot 16.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Sure.
According to the letter of whatever rules we're following, all of these should have been automatically denied because we all missed the deadline because our assessor didn't get stuff in on time.
Right.
I just feel like can't we extend the same graciousness of someone who missed it by 2 days to us who we don't know why they missed it. We don't know what what circumstances were true in their life. And we missed our deadline by what, a month? And sure, it wasn't because it was our fault per se, but how did
But
these
we did
people
not
not?
automatically expect them to grant us that month. We said, we're not gonna make our deadline, and you can go to BTLA if you prefer. We expect to have a resolution within 30 days, but we left them the option to go to BTLA.
Yeah, but we didn't tell them about it until like,
What did you tell them about?
I know, we told them, but it was like the like, I'm just saying, the same graciousness we asked everyone to have with us.
I don't think we have the ability to do that. The statute says you have to make application by March 1. They didn't.
I mean, the first one A says may abate anything we want for good cause shown.
Right? Then the next one says by March 1st. I'm worried that
But
we
then it
don't
also
know
says that we have to approve or deny by July 1st. So which of these dates are we holding sacred?
Even if it's denied, they still have the DTLA appeal route.
Oh, I know that. I'm just curious because we're saying that one date is hard and fast. And I know that we notified them, but do we even have the right to approve or deny at this point? If it's after July 1st, if the date July 1st is in the.
I mean, I think, so. I think nobody's going to challenge us if we gave them the automatic denial letter first, and now we're coming back and saying, we're gonna grant your abatement. And I'm worried that we don't know why this person was late. We are maybe giving them reasons that they haven't articulated to us, and I don't think it's our job to do that.
Mhm.
And so if they miss the deadline, that's all we have to go on.
And at that time, we thought we were going to be on target for our schedule.
I guess my yes and to that is, yes, they did miss the deadline. And their request for abatement is also valid according to the assessor. And so I guess I'm wondering where I'm hanging my hat personally, is it on the fact that I don't know why, and I'm not going to prescribe things to it, and the assessor says it is a valid reason for an abatement. And all these dates have become a little bit wishy-washy this year, and so I struggle to say, even though we thought that was true at that time, that we sit here with the knowledge we have now.
From our perspective,
Yeah,
as a town,
yeah.
this is a bad precedent that you're asking us to set.
I agree with that. And I don't think we even have to do this process because we missed that July 1st deadline and could have just stood on, we didn't have to send a letter.
I agree with all of that. So I'm simply saying, like, are we picking and choosing these moments where we're offering this courtesy and this graciousness, or do we just approach it that way in general?
We complied with the letter of the law and said, we can automatically reject everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd rather wait,
Actually, it's not may, it's shall.
It's shall.
We-
That's
we-
the thing that's
We
getting-
shall reject everybody. Failure to respond shall constitute denial.
Well, failure not just to respond, but to approve or deny.
tomorrow,
No, stop it. Why would you don't make jokes like that? We just got her, Jeff. We like her. Shush you.
She was so nice.
No, so I mean, that's the thing is I'm like,
And this was the recommended course, if DRA does any sort of recommendation. Given the fact that it was really out, that the use path report didn't come in and that the time was beyond our control.
oh yeah,
but-
there's reasons for all of this, right? That's the whole thing. Life is full of reasons.
Right.
And we have reasons for missing our deadlines and blah, blah, blah. And I guess I'm just like, I just struggle to not extend that to over a 2-day thing in which their reasons for the actual abatement are valid. And maybe there's a difference between 2 days and 2 years, right? And someone could make that argument. But I just feel like there is.
and if I'm the taxpayer,
Yeah.
I would take this public record and go to BTL and said, I was 2 days late, but the assessor said I should get the revaluation,
Yeah.
and Jeff was an ass, that I
Well,
couldn't have it.
Jeff, I can't help it what they say about you.
I can't, I'm okay with it. I've never been insulted by it in my life.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see a distinction in the two situations, and I'm not willing to give them a grace period to March 3rd to consider on the merits what they're asking for.
It sounds like I will not change your minds on your votes, and I respect that.
I just think it's a bad precedent. Next year, it's gonna be March 5th and March 7th.
Right.
And, you know, where are you gonna draw the line then? It's a bad precedent for us.
I get
As a
that.
group.
I think we're just holding a double standard as a group. So
I disagree, but okay.
that's okay. That's the beauty of a multi-person committee that all gets a vote, is we don't all have to agree. And it's good that we don't all agree. Because we should then consider next year, if we're gonna miss the July 1st, do we, I mean, I'm again just struggling with the shell of this
Yep.
and
I mean, we abided by
happy
that.
that we're doing this. This
We
is the
abided
right
by the
thing.
shall because we did deny. We sent the letter saying you're denied. We complied with it.
But then we can go back and change our mind.
We are, yeah, because we've had time to process the application. Because it was timely submitted in the first instance, so we have jurisdiction to review it.
Mhm.
If you don't get it in by March 1st, the law says we don't even have the jurisdiction to consider it.
But right, to the question we were gonna have Karen ask legal counsel about whether or not a select board can go back and overturn a decision a select board's already made. So are we not overturning a decision we technically already made?
No, because the ones we're going back through now, except for this one and the other one, were all submitted timely.
Right, but they got the automatic denial on July 1st. So are we not going back then and trying to approve the ones we already denied?
We did for some of them, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm saying is like, are we even allowed to do that?
I think, so the first part of 1A says for good cause shown. I think for those applications, the good cause is our assessor didn't get the information to us in a timely fashion to enable us to review it and render decision by July 1st. So no fault of the taxpayers. They did
Mhm.
everything right.
Yeah, yes, they
And
did.
it's just our assessor, our prior assessor dropped the ball.
Mhm.
And so in that circumstance, I think, yes, we have the ability to go back and grant the abatement where it's warranted.
And so if circumstance is the reason why, shall we not reach out to this person and ask for their circumstance?
They can appeal if they disagree and feel they have a good case.
Okay,
It's my personal view.
well, thank you all for debating and discussing. I appreciate it.
I'm gonna make a motion to deny 242-16 as the abatement application was not timely filed.
Second,
Any further discussion?
What, so I just want to look at one thing real quick.
Yep.
Just for consistency, because I love consistency. Okay, yeah, so with regards to the appraiser, he has remarks on both of the ones that were not timely filed. So it's really not up to him to say you should deny this because it wasn't timely filed. He's just looking at the merits of their application.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't want to speak for why he didn't flag that, but that could be true.
Maybe he leaves that up to Kara.
I was gonna say, maybe they should not have reached him.
Oh, right, because they weren't timely filed. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Any other
Anything-
discussion? I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off.
Oh, it's okay. I was just gonna say, we might want to suggest that we have a form letter that goes out to any that come in after the March 1st deadline.
Any further discussion on the motion on the floor? Okay, just a reminder, the motion is to deny. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed.
Okay. All right, we are on to 24226. 24226. Okay, for a motion on this one?
I move that we confirm the assessor's recommendation, grant the abatement, map 242, lot 26.
Seconded.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
I'm gonna have to abstain on this one too.
Okay.
It's all the same payment.
Very familiar. Yeah.
What are we on, 242.26?
That was 242.26, and I think the other one that you abstained on was 241.20.
20.
Correct. Yes, good job. All right, so now we're on 249-5. 249-5. Ready for a motion?
I move that we confirm the assessor's recommendation to grant the abatement for map 249, lot 5.
I have a second.
Second. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
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 Coming down the home stretch.
Yep. Okay, now we're on 251, I'm sorry. Was there a 249-9?
So the application says 5 and 9, but we only have a report
A recommendation?
on -5, as far as I can tell.
Hmm.
But
So I think they were selling the lots together.
so lot 9 is there's no building on it.
Some current uses in it.
Is that what this says? Unmanaged pine?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So lot 9 is just forest.
Okay, I think we're okay on that then.
Yeah, so it's talking about the actual application in 2025. We will list the property only and expect less.
Last summer, we put the property, both lots on the market for 1.7, which was intended to include personal property. We received no offers. We will list the property and expect less than 1.5 million. The barn does not include an apartment.
We need to change that.
So I think they missed section E. Where you substantiate with data. So if they were going to sell one of the lots, and it's, I mean, they should be considered separately, they should have done,
Usually if you own more than one parcel, the assessor should be looking at everything you own,
the combined value,
the combined value of everything.
but I still don't see anything in here that says substantiates. They're going to ask less money, but that doesn't, sorry, this isn't my job.
I think we're okay because the assessor looked at the reasons for an abatement for 249-5, made a recommendation, which we just agreed with, to reduce it. And we don't have anything for 249-9, which could mean that the assessor saw no reason to make any adjustment to 249-9. Why don't we, can we reach out to the assessor and ask about 249-9? Because they did list 249-9 on the property, on the application. Okay, so is everybody okay with that? So we'll come back to 249-9 when we hear back from the assessor.
Yeah, one thing I'm noticing also is they write on it, there is no,
Apartment in the barn.
right, and so if you go to the second of the property cards, it does appear to insinuate that there is a somewhere to sleep or live
Is that
inside the barn.
Is that on 5 or 9?
That's on the 05
That's on
card.
5.
Yeah,
Check that.
yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, there are property cards attached to the decision.
Mhm.
And it reads the same, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom in the, in the
The barn.
the barn.
Sure.
But I suppose there might be a difference between a bedroom and a bathroom and an apartment, you know, like they might not consider it an apartment, but from our perspective, you could market it as such or something to that effect.
Okay. Let's keep moving, guys. Let's go
So
to,
we're tabling this one?
yeah, 249-9. We're gonna get further information from the assessor. 249-5, we've already granted that abatement. We just did that.
Okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay, so 251-19. Ready for a motion on this one?
I will be shortly.
I move that we affirm the assessor's recommendation to grant the abatement for map 251 lot 19.
Seconded.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now we're on to 251-28. 251-28.
I move that we affirm the assessor's recommendation to grant the abatement for map 251 lot 28.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now we're on to 264-8.
What about
264.
25620?
We did that.
Okay, great,
Yes, we did that already.
super. So 264.8,
264-8.
is this the last one?
No, one other one after this one. Yeah. 264-8.
I'll move to adopt the assessor's recommendation to grant the abatement for lot 264-8.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, this is the final one. 264-38. 264-38.
I don't think that.
I don't
has it.
see it.
I know, but I'm looking at it right here.
Should we make ourselves hard copies?
She says.
So recommendation, it is my recommendation that this abatement request be granted. After reviewing the property, the story height, basement, deck, and porch were corrected. This is, the taxpayer is Angwin. And it is located on 687 Hopkinton Road.
So you don't have their application there, just the
No, this is
recommendation.
just and the previous assessment was 557,600. And the revised assessment that is recommended drops it down to 550. So from 557,600 down to 515.
1.5 or 5.0? I'm still looking at your.
Yeah, that's doing better.
15, thank you.
Yep. My recommendation that this abatement request be granted after reviewing the property, the story height, basement, deck, and porch were corrected.
So yeah, it seems here like The basement was listed as 300 square feet bigger, the height was listed as 300 feet, Well, they made a lot of corrections. It seems like all based on the information provided by the applicant, which is very detailed.
Oh, wow, yeah,
26438.
correct.
I move that we affirm the assessor's recommendation to grant the abatement for map 264, lot 38.
Seconded.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That is the end of our abatement journey.
Except for all our signatures.
Except for, right, so I'm gonna, well, I'll put it to you guys. Do you want to take a break for 5 minutes and come back and finish the agenda? We have a couple non-publics, I think, to deal with
Town administrator updates.
and some other stuff.
Let's get the public forum.
You want to
Yeah.
keep going or take a break?
So that way, if there's someone on who we can release.
Sure, let's go.
Can I just say one thing in case anyone's interested? My running tally is we just granted $95,442 worth of abatements. So yay to the people who went through the process and were able to achieve their goal.
Thank you.
So,
Better.
good job. Next up, we have town administrator updates.
So I will be quick. I mentioned earlier that the CIP forms will be going out this week to begin that collection of information. They're due back in early September, and I haven't reached out to the CIP chair yet just to see what the process might be, but we're gonna get rolling.
So when you say CIP books are going out, that means to the department heads for review and update?
Yep.
Okay, great.
And requests for new ads.
Okay.
Question for you folks. I was asked about the horseshoe pile in front of the place that was.
The former Horseshoe Tavern.
Former Horseshoe Tavern that was just torn down. What do we want to do with the pile?
Save
Is there
it?
anything we want to do with the pile?
Is there any scrap value to that metal?
No.
It's pretty rusty apparently. I don't know if there's historic value, if the historical society. might-
Oh, I assumed it was a protected landmark at this point.
I mean,
Um,
I was gonna say, offer anybody in town to come get some if they want.
yeah,
Oh, that's actually kind of sweet to come get a horseshoe from the pile if you want the memory. I know, that's really kind. That's like a nice gesture.
Can I,
You
can,
should-
can I recommend a motion?
Historical Society some
Okay, so is, yeah,
amount. But I think people in town might like to have
And
them.
they all have to sign a waiver, so if they get tetanus while they're going through the pile, we're not.
Well, and that, the thing is, I don't know if they're somehow connected. I've never seen the pile that connected with wires. I don't think to stabilize it, or is it just a pile?
You think someone stabilized it?
It wouldn't surprise me.
it, honestly, I haven't looked at it closely, but it does look like over
You said a
time.
5-minute break, we just go
Compressed.
off right down.
Yeah, it's all rusted together, so if you wanted
So the
one,
building's down now?
building is down.
That's awesome.
yeah, I hadn't noticed that, but if you wanted one of them, it might take some power tools to extract one. I mean,
Wow.
I could be wrong about that. I don't know if anybody's has a better look at it than I have, but,
I would put it up on the Facebook page and just say. Want a horseshoe, come and get one.
And give it like 2 weeks, and then after that, it can just go away.
yeah, I was just put a date on it and make it clear that if you're coming to get anything, you assume any risk.
Then just have the highway department come and bring the backhoe and the loader. Put it in a dump truck, take it over to the transfer station, put it in the metal pile.
And be like, plow it into the pond. Be like, that's probably not. a
No,
good
it's fine.
idea.
TDS will be mad about that.
Yeah.
I recommend caution. I think there's probably emotional attachment to the pile, and if we do not go slowly, we might get ourselves into unnecessary hot water with people who feel as though the pile should be intact, moved, displayed, protected. I'm just saying these things out loud. We can do what we want.
This has been a discussion item for 2 years plus.
Okay, perfect.
A lot of people mention the building, never heard a word about the pile.
Yeah.
And
That's not true. I've definitely heard people talk about the pile before, and I can think of 3 people who I'm
So I
relatively
was
sure.
in this chair, I've never heard a
Oh,
word.
not here in this room, elsewhere, outside.
So it was building and grounds that came to me and said, what do we do about the pile? So, that's where this is coming from.
Does any, hearing Vicky's, concern, does anyone have any objection to what Jeff proposed? Which is put it on Facebook, you got 2 weeks if you want it, you assume any risk. If it's still there in 2 weeks, then DPW is free to remove it and dispose of it.
I think if we take a picture of it and it's a nice post that is done respectfully and we send it over to the Hopkinton News, the way no one's like, what just happened? But we feel like, we should clear this area. There is no longer a building there. It will become a hazard over time. And so out of respect for the memory it has, come and grab one.
Grade change going into the pond is just horrendous.
Right, so all of that we want to avoid, but saying like, come grab a piece of memory while it's still here. We can't maintain it as a piece of public art because it would have to have been set up differently from the start.
Okay, not hearing any objection. Sounds like Karen, you have what you need for that.
I do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Vicky, we can't store it in the firehouse next to the fire engine here in Hopkinton Village.
I'm sure we can.
You have any other updates, Karen?
Dan was in today, mentioned that Pine Street, he said he's spent 105,000 in materials. And that includes a base coat of paving. He will do the next coat next year as his usual process. He also mentioned that Nobis has been up and had a look at the landfill cap that I mentioned was cracked.
Yeah.
Apparently there are 3 cracks there. One of them is larger than the other 2. So, no news other than that. He was gonna try to reach out to Nobis to see, if they had any, they want to drill or dig or something, a test channel to see if they can figure out what's going on underneath that. And he's not sure that we need to go to quite that
Okay.
degree, but was going to ask that question.
Did you say last time that it was supposed to have like a lifetime use? You know what I mean? Like longer use than however long it's been on the.
I don't know what the use is. He was talking today, I guess there's some 4-inch drain pipes that drain water. And Dan's theory is in the 6 inches of rain that we got, it was just overwhelmed. Maybe one of the, maybe mice are living in one of the, the drains and that got plugged or something, but he feels like it definitely was a water induced slide
Okay.
in a couple of spots. So I mean, that's another question I think I was asking,
Yeah, is it under warranty or are we under the rules of, capped landfills, are we required to fix it? Do we have any recourse for recouping the
It's
costs?
covered by insurance.
Right.
Yep. Yep. He just took
That's the
pictures
like the
today.
resolution is that it's covered by insurance. But I don't know.
Yeah,
Nothing has a lifetime guarantee, but certainly, and I suspect the water is the issue, that those rains were just so heavy that it undermined some system within the cap. But we'll see what Nova says.
it's an investigation
Yeah.
ongoing. We'll keep you updated.
So,
Recommend that we try to get a timeline from Novus,
Okay.
because if we have to pay for this, it sounds like it could be a bondable item.
Yeah, it's true.
And we're not gonna wanna put it off for 18 months. It's gonna have to be voted on in March. Unless we're gonna pay cash out of pocket,
That's all.
and that's your budget. Then the tax rate's up 25% or more.
so although I agree that nothing has a lifetime warranty, it feels as though this cap, whatever it is, that we need to understand the nature of it because it just feels like we're taking punches left and right from severe weather, and we're gonna have another shitty rainstorm again. That is, I mean, is it just going to break again? Will you see if you
Yeah.
can figure out the durability issue to the best of our understanding as laymen?
That's the Novus thing, that's the engineers.
Yeah,
It's maybe, yeah, I don't have any experience with these things. so,
yes,
Maybe one of the things to ask them is, should we be doing some kind of annual or multi-year maintenance on the drain lines?
yes.
If the drain lines are plugged and that's,
You don't even know where they go.
okay.
So,
And my next question was, are there plans? And apparently there's some as-built, but they don't necessarily have the drain. So,
Can I suggest that, we get more information on this, and then when we have more information, we can continue
Maybe
this
it's-
discussion? Because I feel like we don't really have enough information to really understand what's going on.
Can't wait to become an expert on dump covers. Could be great.
you know how we have different contingency funds?
Mhm.
Is it worth marinating on having a severe weather contingency fund?
I think
$105,000 and 2 weeks of Dan's time.
I will say, yes, that's a great thing to consider. I'll say that when we're doing the budget, $100,000 could go a long way. And so
Right.
nice to have that in mind, but I don't know if that would survive the budget process, is what I'm saying.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, and it would be hard to retro engineer it, but it'd be an interesting list of how much money we spend because of severe weather.
Yes, yes. Any other updates?
no, but I would add that we had this, in my previous town, and we actually created an empty, non-budgeted budget line in the operating budget, and any storm damages were charged against that, expensed against that line. So at the end of the year, we could see what we had.
I like that.
helped
That's a good
us-
idea.
That helped us plan, for the future.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're now on to public forum. There's no one here physically present. Does the one individual online wish to make a public comment? And I think you have to click on attendees, Karen, to see if they. All right, not seeing Catherine jump in. We're gonna move on. Board committee updates. Does anyone have a board committee update that they'd like to share? I'm just gonna start at this end of the table. Jeff,
I haven't had a meeting for the summer.
okay. Listen,
Housing Committee has their next community event on July 31st.
Thursday.
Yes,
that is.
That's at the Legion.
yes, it is. It is not open bar.
Yeah, but I haven't tried to get into the.
Vacated for it and everyone laughed and I was like, I guess this is not a real thing.
Steve, I'm sorry. I'm also the chair of the impact fee subcommittee
Okay,
for the planning board. And we're making progress and we'll probably deliver a report to the planning board in September.
okay, thank you. Vicky, have any?
No, nothing.
Okay.
We haven't met.
Okay, I'm on the EDC and the Energy Committee. The Energy Committee has not met since I was last at a meeting. I did get word from other members of the Energy Committee that the Poverty Plains solar agreement has been signed, and that we are one of the I don't recall the exact number, but we are one of the communities that will benefit from that project. And so hopefully we'll see some cost savings in the future because of that. The EDC met once since the last meeting. And I'm honestly blanking on a relevant update for you guys, but it's late and I'm probably missing it, but that's my update for the EDC.
I have you go ahead.
I'd be interested to hear how many people opted out from the energy program when they announced.
I have no
20%
idea,
off
but
PSNH.
that's a really good question. Yeah, I don't know. I'll make a note and see if we can get that information.
That at some level, I think we don't have enough to keep our agreement with the powers that be.
Yeah. We, as far as I know, have not scheduled our next meeting date because it's the summer and so we're dealing with quorum issues. But I will make a note to try to get some information on that. Okay,
I
okay.
have a question
Yes.
just based on Michelle Cedillo coming to the prior meeting and updating us on some of the Riverway Park progress that they've made
Huh?
with regards to conversations with DPW and sort of narrowing their lists of interests and requests. And basically she said that she feels a little bit of a holding pattern because of the downtown Kentucky working group. And she said that they have not heard whether or not like she will be invited to be part of that group or not. And so some things are still just on pause until that moves forward. And so just put that on your radar.
Yeah, thank you. I'll try to get some clarity on that as well. Okay, so no more board committee updates. Does anyone have anything for other?
So it's too bad that it's at the exact same time as the Legion Housing Committee event, but
Is it open bar?
no, it's not open bar at the library on Thursday, the 31st at 5:30. The Friends of Spirit Skate Park are officially forming our nonprofit. And I mean, everyone's invited to come and watch the process. We've secured the community room and we've been chit-chatting with the charitable trust unit and all kinds of important steps to take. But we invite anyone who wants to come and join that, and, like, watch us hammer all the nails in.
That's great. 5:30 at the,
5:30 at the community room on Thursday, the 31st.
awesome. Okay,
Yay, Kelly.
did you have any others, Karen?
I do have one little thing that I probably should have mentioned.
Go ahead, go ahead.
We submitted a $1 million congressional discretionary spending request for help with our lagoon issue, and it is at the top of the list that the Senator Sheen's office has published. So
Oh.
cross your fingers if you know somebody.
Great.
Do you know
That's
people?
that's a really good sign.
Yeah, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
There was no one Dakota, I could get it. Nobody knows.
Yeah. All right,
If it was Guam.
so we have nothing left on our agenda but 3 non-public sessions. So we will make a motion to go into non-public session. And once we conclude those non-public sessions and come back into public session, we're going to be adjourning the meeting. So I will make a motion to enter non-public session under 91A3 Roman 2C. We have 2 instances of reputation, that's little c, and the third and final non-public session will be under E for legal. And that is a roll call vote, so. Oh, thank you. Seconded by Jeff.
Yes.
Jeff is a yes. Listen. Thank you.
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. Okay, everyone. Thank you, public,
Thank
for participating.
Thank you, Catherine.
And before we get